There comes a moment in life when people who've wronged you suddenly realize what they've lost. And in that moment, they feel regret. They start to remember the value you brought into their lives, the loyalty, the support, the love. But when someone walks away or betrays your trust, it's not your job to be the safety net they fall back on. When someone wrongs you, mistreats you, or undervalues you, it can shake your sense of worth. But this is precisely the moment when you need to recognize your value more than ever. It's easy to feel defeated or question what you did wrong when someone you cared for decides to walk away. But the truth is, how they treat you is a reflection of them, not of you. Your self-worth is something no one else can define for you. It's not negotiable. It's not up for discussion, and it certainly isn't based on anyone else's opinion of you. When you know your worth, you set standards for how others should treat you. You recognize that respect, loyalty, and love are not just gifts you give out freely, they are privileges. And when someone disrespects those things, they forfeit the right to have them. People will try to convince you that mistakes happen, that no one is perfect. That may be true, but knowing your worth means understanding that certain actions cross a line that should not be crossed. And once they do, there's no going back. Your value is intrinsic. It exists whether people acknowledge it or not. It's something that comes from within, built over time through your experiences, your struggles, your achievements, and the love you give to yourself. So when someone regrets losing you, it's because they finally recognized what they had. But that doesn't mean they deserve another chance. Often people don't appreciate what's in front of them until it's gone. They take your kindness, your loyalty, your efforts for granted because they think you'll always be there. But when you finally take a step back, when you reclaim your worth, that's when they start to see what they've lost. And suddenly they come running back, full of apologies, regrets, and promises to change. But here's where knowing your worth becomes vital. Regret doesn't equate to respect. Just because they miss you doesn't mean they've learned to value you. Often regret comes from a place of selfishness. They regret losing the comfort you provided, the consistency, the love, the support. But those are things you should never have to beg for. And if someone could only recognize your value after they've hurt you, then they never truly respected you in the first place. They only missed the benefits of having you around. That's not love, that's convenience. And convenience is not enough reason to give someone another chance. Knowing your worth means standing firm in your decision not to take them back. It's not about being cold-hearted or unforgiving. It's about protecting your energy, your peace, and your heart. When you accept someone back who didn't appreciate you the first time, you send a message that you're willing to tolerate mistreatment. You lower your standards to accommodate their shortcomings, and in doing so, you betray yourself. Self-worth demands that you don't lower your standards for anyone, no matter how much they regret their actions. And let's be clear, people who truly recognize your worth won't need a second chance to get it right. They won't need to lose you to understand your value. They will treat you with respect from the beginning. They will see your worth in how you carry yourself and how you love and how you support them, and they will honor that. Those are the people you need to hold close, the ones who never make you question your value. But for those who didn't see your worth when they had the chance, letting them go is the best thing you can do for them and for yourself. For them, it's a lesson in accountability. They need to learn that actions have consequences, and losing you is one of those consequences. For you, it's a matter of self-preservation. It's about keeping your standards high and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. You deserve people in your life who see your value without needing to lose you to figure it out. People who uplift you, support you, and treat you with the respect you deserve. And when someone who failed to do that comes back, you have to remind yourself that your worth doesn't diminish just because they now regret their actions. Their regret is not your problem. It's not your job to fix them or to give them another chance to make things right. Your worth is non-negotiable. It's something you carry with you at all times, and it's what should guide your decisions, especially when it comes to who you allow back into your life. You owe it to yourself to move forward, to continue growing, and to protect your peace. Let their regret be their burden, not yours. You know your worth, and that's all the validation you need. Losing someone or feeling like you've been left behind can be one of the most painful experiences in life. It shakes you to your core, forces you to question everything, your choices, your worth, and sometimes even your direction in life. But what often feels like the end is, in reality, the beginning of something much greater. Loss, though painful, is often the catalyst for growth. It pushes you to reflect, to rebuild, and to ultimately become a better version of yourself. When someone leaves or betrays you, it's not just about what you've lost, it's about the opportunity that has opened up for you to evolve. Growth through loss is one of the hardest lessons life will teach you. It's difficult to see the potential for growth when you're in the midst of heartbreak or disappointment. But it's important to understand that every setback, every betrayal, every moment of being overlooked or abandoned holds within it the seed of transformation. When someone regrets losing you, it's often because they didn't expect you to grow without them. They thought you'd stay stagnant, that their departure would leave you broken. What they didn't realize is that loss is often the fuel that ignites the fire of self-improvement. It's natural to feel the weight of that loss. The pain, the confusion, the self-doubt, it's overwhelming. But with time, something shifts. You begin to realize that their absence has created space. Space for you to focus on yourself. Space for you to develop new skills, to strengthen your mindset, to chase after goals that may have been pushed to the side while you were busy prioritizing someone else. This is where the growth begins, often in the quiet moments when you're alone, forced to confront who you are and who you want to become. Being left behind or mistreated often triggers self-reflection. You start to evaluate your life choices, your relationships, and most importantly, how you see yourself. This reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Growth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from challenge. And loss is one of life's biggest challenges. It makes you ask yourself hard questions. Who am I without them? What do I truly want in life? What have I been neglecting in myself to keep this relationship or connection alive? These questions lead to clarity, and with clarity comes the power to change. The beauty of growing through loss is that it's a journey of self-discovery. As you work through the pain, you start to recognize strengths in yourself that you may have never noticed before. You realize that you're capable of far more than you gave yourself credit for. You begin to set boundaries, to prioritize your well-being, and to pursue what makes you truly happy. And in doing so, you start to attract better opportunities, better people, and a better life. People who truly value you, situations that align with your goals, these things start to come into your life because you've raised your standards and you've learned to protect your peace. When someone regrets losing you, it's often because they see the growth that has happened in your life since they left. They see that you didn't crumble. In fact, you flourished. And that's the part they never expected. They thought their absence would leave a void in your life, but instead, it created room for something far greater. For self-love, for self-respect, and for self-empowerment. You've taken the pain they caused and turned it into power. You've taken their departure and used it as a stepping stone towards your own greatness. And here's the thing, growth through loss doesn't mean you forget the pain or dismiss what happened. It means you learn from it. Every painful experience leaves behind a lesson, and those lessons are what shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient person. You learn what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. You learn who you can trust and who you can't. And most importantly, you learn to trust yourself. You learn that no matter what happens, you have the ability to rise above it. When you grow through loss, you also develop a sense of independence that is unshakable. You stop relying on others for your happiness or your sense of worth. You realize that everything you need is already within you. And once you reach that point, no one can take it away from you. The people who left, the ones who didn't appreciate your value, they become a distant memory. They may regret losing you, but by then you've moved on. You've grown beyond the person you were when they knew you. You've evolved into someone who no longer fits into the small space they once occupied in your life. The journey of growth through loss isn't easy, but it's one of the most rewarding experiences you'll ever go through. It teaches you resilience, self-reliance, and the power of transformation. You come out of it stronger, wiser, more confident in who you are and what you deserve. So when someone regrets losing you, don't take it as a sign to let them back into your life. Take it as confirmation that you've grown beyond them. You've used the loss to fuel your growth, and that's something they can never take away from you. Keep growing, keep evolving, and never settle for less than you deserve.